Imagine you're a Roman soldier on the frontier. You've marched for weeks. You've fought in the mud. You've watched friends die beside you. Finally, on payday, an officer places your wages in your hand, a small bag of silver coins. But this time, something feels different. The coins look a little duller. They sound a little flatter when they hit the table. And when you go to the market, your money suddenly buys less. You didn't get a pay cut on paper, but in reality, you just did. Every empire rests on a simple deal between those who rule and those who fight. The state says, "Risk your life for us, and we will take care of you." For a Roman soldier, that promise was written in coin, regular pay in silver denarii, plus the hope of land, pensions, and rewards after years of service. As long as that money was solid, the empire had loyal, disciplined armies. But once the money starts to weaken, the relationship changes, because a soldier has one very powerful question. If the state cheats me with my pay, why should I keep risking my life for it? In the early days, a Roman denarius contained a lot of real silver. It wasn't just a symbol. It had weight, shine, and intrinsic value. You could send it home to your family. You could save it. You could trust it. Over time, as we saw in our previous story, the state began to dilute the silver. They didn't announce a new kind of money. They didn't say, "From now on, your salary is worth less." Instead, they slowly changed what was inside the coin. More copper, less silver. Same emperor's face, same official promise. On the surface, the soldier received the same number of coins, but those coins were a weaker claim on real value in the economy. So how does a soldier find out that his money has been quietly weakened? Not by reading economic reports, but by living everyday life. He goes to buy bread, and the baker says, "That will be more coins than last year." He tries to send savings back home, and his family writes, "Prices have gone up. We're struggling." He notices that older coins feel heavier, look shinier, and seem to be disappearing from circulation. Merchants begin to prefer the old, high silver denarii. Some even refuse to accept the newer, debased coins at full value. The soldier understands what this means. The state is paying him with money that looks the same, but buys less and less. That is a quiet betrayal. When thousands of soldiers have the same experience, the problem isn't just economic, it becomes political. Rumors spread through the camps. Our pay is worthless. They're cheating us from Rome. We bleed, they debase. Some units demand higher pay to compensate for the weaker coins. Others turn to looting, taking value directly from the provinces instead of trusting the state to pay them fairly. In some periods, emperors had to promise extra donatives, huge bonus payments to soldiers, just to keep their loyalty. That might calm the troops for a moment, but it also means creating even more money, which can push prices higher still. It is a vicious circle. Weak money arrow angry soldiers, arrow more payouts to calm them, arrow even weaker money. An empire can survive many problems if its army remains loyal. But when the army starts to doubt the value of its own pay, everything becomes more fragile. In Rome's later centuries, the empire faced invasions, civil wars, and political chaos. In that storm, a strong, trusted currency would have been an anchor. Instead, Rome had money that was constantly losing quality. Some emperors were literally made and unmade by the legions. And those legions often wanted one thing above all: better pay and more reliable money. When soldiers feel underpaid and cheated, they become more open to rebellion, to backing a rival emperor, or simply to turning away when the frontiers are attacked. Weak money didn't just make life harder for ordinary citizens, it quietly undermined the discipline and loyalty of the very people who defended the empire. Today, most of us are not paid in silver coins. We receive numbers in a bank account, printed on payslips, counted in digital balances. But the basic feeling is the same. If your salary doesn't rise as fast as the cost of living, if each year your money buys a little less, you don't need to be an economist to feel that something is wrong. Workers today may not stand in a Roman camp with a spear, but they still feel that silent frustration. I did my job. Why does my pay feel weaker every single year? Rome shows us what can happen when an empire treats its money as a tool to solve short-term problems and ignores the long-term trust of the people it pays. A currency is not just metal, paper, or digital code. It is a promise between the state and its citizens. When that promise is broken, the damage doesn't stay in the treasury. It spreads into the army, the markets, and everyday life. In future episodes, we will look at how other empires, from medieval kingdoms to modern states, faced the same temptation to quietly weaken their money and to hope no one would notice. History suggests that people always do. If you want more stories like this, where money, power, and empires intersect, consider subscribing. The past cannot tell us exactly what will happen next, but it can show us what happens when the people who hold the weapons stop trusting the people who print the money.